Hello, and welcome to another Ring Rouge unit of the week. And today we're taking a look at the B4 203mm artillery piece, available to the 26 Guards. B4 203mm howitzer would first enter into Russian service in 1932, meaning this is actually a rather old pre-war design. It's a rather simple design. You put a giant howitzer onto its own self-propelled carriage, so it can maneuver itself around without having to require trucks or horses to reposition such a gun, as it did weigh roughly 40 bloody tons. The carriage probably added a little bit to that, of course. Nonetheless, it produced around about 1,000 of these from 32 to 42. They'd first see service during the Winter War for knocking out Finnish bunkers. The Finns had a rather funny name for it. They'd call it the Karelia Sculpture because it would make a rather big mess of a Finnish pillbox. And then, of course, when the Germans invaded during Operation Barbarossa, they were used during the initial stages of that invasion. But because the Red Army was kind of in shambles and for such a heavy assault weapon, a lot of them would not prove to be all that well on the defensive and would get captured. The Russians realised this, rather, and would actually send the majority of B4s all the way to the backlines as strategic reserves, as they weren't really needed, but they would slowly start putting them back into frontline service once the Russians started to go on the offensive later on in the war. And also, the Germans had a funny nickname for it too: Stalin's Sledgehammer. In-game, the B4 203mm is a 160-point artillery piece available exclusively to the 26 Guards Division, and it has one rather big weapon. That being, well, the B4 artillery piece. Surprise, surprise. It does 10 HE damage, big suppression, big blast damage, 30% accuracy, infinite range, it's a big ass artillery gun, and it shoots 3 rounds a minute with 45 degrees a second traverse speed. It's a big gun. It will blow stuff up. The high explosive value is not to be trifled with. And you have 18 shots, which is pretty decent. In terms of miscellaneous stats, it goes a whopping 7 kilometers an hour off-road, and then wait for it, 11 kilometers on the road. Very bad stealth and low optics capability. In battle, the B4, well, it's a big artillery gun. It's gonna do big artillery gun things, which is blow stuff up and make them dead. This is a very good weapon for killing very precise targets, such as anti-tank guns, enemy artillery pieces, and a really annoying Sturmgewehr squad. This is what you're going to be using this piece for. Now, this is a rather unique piece, mainly due to the fact that it's one of the few Soviet artillery weapons that actually has radios, so you can get corrected shot. And by God, you really want to take advantage of the corrected shot bonus of this vehicle, because as you can see by the picture here, it's much more accurate. But also, this isn't like an Su-76 where you're going to get it close to the front line. No, you're going to be keeping these things pretty much right at your deployment zone. For 2 reasons. First one, it makes it harder to counter battery. And secondly, it moves 11 kilometers an hour on the road. It's going to take forever to get anywhere near the front line. So back to the back line it is. So you really need to take artillery leaders, spotters, Su-76s in the front line, and also ISU-152s to give you that corrected shot bonus so you can really make the most out of these 203s. And when you do get a corrected shot bonus, it's like playing a German division. It's point and click, and mostly what you click will die. Even though it is a big gun, you won't be killing tanks if it's still. You kind of require anti-tank weapons to really effectively deal with them. In terms of how many you want to get, well, you only get 1 card of these with 26 Guards. I usually recommend taking them in B phase more than anything with 1-star veterancy. Never take them with 2-star. You're just killing your availability rate by half, and with an artillery gun, the veterancy ain't really going to matter. But in B phase, it's usually a pretty good time to start bringing out the heavier guns if you're playing like a Balanced or Maverick Income, for example. And I usually find 2 is more than enough to really deal with most situations, and they are pretty expensive, so it's going to be hard to be buying a bunch of these guys. To use, well, I was about to say company, but it's more of a couple. It's a big artillery gun. It makes things go kaboom at a very long range. Just make sure to use radios. And well, I'm going to leave it off. Yeah, this has been another Ring Rouge unit of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, And as usual, please just take it easy.